Everything you've been through, the struggles, the setbacks, the victories, has shaped you for a reason. Life has not been a random sequence of events. It has been a journey of preparation. If you look back, you will see moments where you thought you wouldn't make it. Moments where the weight of your circumstances felt unbearable. And yet, here you are, still standing, still fighting. That alone is proof that your journey is not over. If God had brought you this far, if He had carried you through the storms, then there is no reason to believe He would abandon you now. Too often, when we face difficulties, we question whether we're on the right path. We wonder if the challenges mean that we've been forgotten. But challenges are not signs of abandonment. They are confirmations of purpose. The struggles you have endured were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to shape you. Every tear, every trial, every moment of doubt was a lesson, a building block, strengthening you for what's ahead. God has been refining you, stretching you, molding you into the person you need to be for the next chapter of your life. Think about all the times when you thought you had reached your breaking point, yet somehow you found the strength to push through. You may not have realized it then, but every step you took, every moment you refused to quit, was evidence that you were not alone. It wasn't your own strength that carried you through. It was the hand of God guiding you even when you couldn't see the way. And if He was there before, He is still here now. If He opened doors in the past, He can open greater ones ahead. We often measure progress by what we can see. If success is visible, we feel encouraged. If obstacles arise, we feel discouraged. But faith is not about seeing, it's about believing. It's about trusting that even when the road is unclear, the journey is still leading somewhere great. You may feel stuck, you may feel uncertain, but the very fact that you are still here means your story isn't finished. The things that seemed like roadblocks were actually detours leading you to something even greater than you imagined. God's plan is never incomplete. He doesn't make mistakes. If He started something in you, He will bring it to completion. But you must refuse to give up. You must keep moving, keep trusting, keep rising. The doubts will come, the fears will whisper, but you must remind yourself, if God didn't leave you then, He won't leave you now. Your journey has a purpose, and that purpose is still unfolding. So when the weight of the world feels heavy, when your dreams seem distant, when you question whether you can keep going, remember this: you didn't come this far to stop here. There is more ahead, more growth, more breakthroughs, more victories. If you keep rising, if you keep believing, nothing can stand in your way. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Keep going, keep trusting, keep rising. The best is yet to come. There will always be moments in life when challenges seem overwhelming, when obstacles appear too great to overcome. In those moments, doubt begins to creep in, whispering that maybe you're not strong enough, that maybe you've reached your limit. But here's what you must understand. Challenges are not meant to stop you. They are meant to prove that you are moving forward. If you weren't on the path to something greater, you wouldn't be facing resistance. The very fact that you have struggles is evidence that you are growing, that you are stepping into a new level of purpose. Think about it: when you were comfortable, when everything was easy, you weren't being stretched, but the moment you decided to rise, the moment you chose to push forward, that's when the challenges appeared. That's not a coincidence. Every breakthrough in life comes with battles. Every elevation comes with opposition. That's the process of growth. You don't get stronger by avoiding struggles. You get stronger by facing them, by pushing through, by refusing to back down. The very obstacles that seem like they are meant to break you are actually the things that will build you. Look at your life. Look at what you have already overcome. There were moments when you thought you wouldn't make it, times when you felt like giving up, yet here you are. That means you are stronger than you think. You have already defeated things that were meant to take you out. You have already risen above things that once tried to hold you back. So why would this challenge be any different? If God brought you through before, He will bring you through again. And He didn't bring you this far to leave you in the middle of the storm. Every challenge is a lesson. It teaches you perseverance. It teaches you faith. It forces you to dig deeper, to discover strengths you didn't even know you had. It prepares you for the blessings ahead. Because the truth is, if you can't handle struggle, you won't be able to handle success. If you quit when it gets hard, you'll never reach the level you were meant to reach. Growth comes from pressure. Diamonds are formed under extreme heat. Gold is refined in fire. Strength is built through resistance. That's why the challenges you face are not a punishment. They are preparation. They are shaping you into the person you need to be for what's coming next. The enemy wants you to believe that the struggles mean you are failing, that the difficulty means you should quit. But that's a lie. Struggles don't mean failure, they mean progress. Resistance doesn't mean retreat, it means push harder. Every great person, every successful story is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. The difference is they refused to let those moments define them. They kept going, they refused to give up, and in the end, they rose. You must have the same mindset. No matter what comes against you, no matter how tough the road gets, remind yourself that this is part of the process. You are being strengthened, you are being prepared. The struggles are not a sign to stop, they are a sign to keep going. Because if you push through, if you refuse to quit, you will come out stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. So when life gets hard, when the challenges feel endless, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Instead, ask, what is this preparing me for? Because the moment you realize that every struggle is making you stronger, that's the moment you stop being afraid of challenges and start using them to rise. God didn't bring you this far to let the obstacles defeat you. Keep going, keep pushing, keep believing. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Fear is a powerful force. It creeps in when things get tough, when the road ahead is unclear, when you don't have all the answers. It whispers doubts, plants hesitation, and tries to convince you that turning back is safer than moving forward. But fear is a liar. It has no power except the power you give it. Every time you choose faith over fear, every time you step forward despite the uncertainty, you weaken fear's grip on your life. You were not created to live in fear. You were created to rise, to push forward, to claim the purpose that is already set before you. The path ahead may not always be clear, but clarity is not a requirement for progress. Too often, people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity before taking action. But there is no perfect moment. There is only now. If you wait for everything to make sense before moving forward, you will stay stuck forever. Faith is moving even when you don't see the whole picture. Faith is believing that if you take the first step, the rest of the path will reveal itself. Think about all the times in life when you doubted yourself, when you weren't sure if you could handle what was ahead, yet somehow you made it through. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was proof that you were never walking alone. If God carried you through your past struggles, why would He leave you now? If He made a way before, He will make a way again. That's why you cannot let fear dictate your steps. Fear will always try to convince you to stay where it's comfortable. It will tell you that stepping into the unknown is risky. But the truth is, staying in the same place out of fear is the greatest risk of all. Nothing great is ever achieved without faith. Every success story, every breakthrough, every victory happened because someone decided to move forward even when they were afraid. They didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They didn't let uncertainty stop them. They pushed through, and because they did, they reached heights they never imagined. You must do the same. You must decide that fear will not control you. You must choose to trust that what is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. Doubt will try to make you question yourself. It will make you wonder if you have what it takes, if you are strong enough, if you're ready. But you don't have to be perfect to move forward. You don't have to have all the answers. All you need is the willingness to take the next step. Because once you take that step, momentum begins to build. One step turns into two steps turn into a journey. And before you know it, you are walking in the very purpose you once feared stepping into. Every time you choose faith over fear, you grow stronger. Every time you push forward despite the doubt, you rise higher. Fear may knock on your door, but you don't have to let it in. You don't have to listen to its lies, because the truth is you are capable, you are ready, you have everything you need to move forward. And if you keep pushing, keep believing, and refuse to turn back, nothing can stop you. So when fear tries to paralyze you, when doubt tells you to quit, remind yourself, if God didn't bring me this far to leave me, then I have no reason to stop now. Keep going, keep trusting, keep rising. The best is yet to come. You have come too far to stop now. Everything you have endured, every battle you have fought, every storm you have survived, it was not for nothing. It was not to leave you stuck in the same place. You didn't push through all of that just to settle where you are. There is more ahead, more for you to experience, more for you to achieve, more for you to become. The journey is not over, and you are not finished. You were not meant to stay in the same place, repeating the same struggles, living the same story. You were meant to grow, to evolve, to rise into the person you were always destined to be. It's easy to look at where you are and feel like you've reached your limit. It's easy to believe that maybe this is as far as you go. But those thoughts are not truth. They are fear in disguise. They are doubts trying to convince you that your best days are behind you. But that is a lie. Your best days are still ahead. What's coming is greater than what's gone. But you have to believe that. You have to stop looking at your past as proof that you can't go further and start looking at it as proof that you were made to overcome. If you made it through before, you will make it through again. If you conquered struggles in the past, you will conquer even greater ones now. And if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, you will see just how much more there is waiting for you. The worst thing you can do is settle, to let comfort hold you back, to allow fear to convince you that staying where you are is safer than stepping into the unknown. You weren't built to stay the same. You weren't meant to live with unfulfilled dreams and untapped potential. Deep down, you know there is more for you. You know that you have more to give, more to create, more to achieve. But knowing isn't enough. You have to take action. You have to make the decision that you will not stop here, that you will not allow anything, fear, doubt, struggle, to hold you back from what is rightfully yours. There will always be challenges, but challenges do not mean stop. They mean rise. They mean push forward. They mean that something greater is on the other side. Every successful person, every great story, every major breakthrough only happened because someone refused to settle. They refused to let obstacles define them. They kept going when it was hard. They kept moving when it felt impossible. And because they did, they reached new levels they never thought possible. You have that same ability. You have that same strength inside of you. You are not different. You are not incapable. The only difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is the decision to keep going. That is what you must do, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how tired you feel, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. Rise again, push forward again, keep moving again, because what's ahead of you is worth the fight. If you ever feel like giving up, if you ever start to believe that you've reached your limit, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the battles you've already won. Remind yourself that you didn't come this far just to stop. You didn't endure what you endured just to quit now. There is too much purpose inside of you, too much potential waiting to be unlocked. You have too much left to do. The only way to fail is to quit. The only way to lose is to stop. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep believing, as long as you keep rising, you will get there. And when you do, you will look back at every challenge, every moment of doubt, and realize that it was all worth it. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. Keep going, keep pushing, keep rising. The best is still ahead. It's easy to look at your current situation and feel like this is all there is. It's easy to let exhaustion, frustration, and doubt convince you that maybe you've reached the end of the road. But deep down, you know that isn't true. There is more inside of you, more ahead of you, more waiting for you if you refuse to stop now. You didn't make it through everything you've been through just to stop here. You didn't fight those battles, endure those struggles, and overcome those obstacles just to settle for less than what you were meant for. There is still more strength in you, more victories to claim, more purpose to fulfill. Think about all the times you felt like you couldn't go on, yet you did. Think about the moments when you thought you had nothing left to give, but somehow you kept going. That was not by accident. That was proof that you are stronger than you realize. That was proof that God has been with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, preparing you for what's ahead. If He had no more plans for you, you wouldn't still be here. The fact that you are still breathing, still fighting, still pushing forward means your story is not over. There is still a reason for you to rise. It's normal to feel tired. It's normal to feel like you've been climbing a never-ending mountain. But the thing about mountains is that the closer you get to the top, the harder the climb becomes. The air gets thinner, the journey gets steeper, the struggle becomes more intense. But that doesn't mean you turn around. That doesn't mean you go back to where you started. It means you keep climbing because the view from the top is worth every ounce of effort. It means you push through because what's on the other side of this struggle is greater than anything you've left behind. The enemy wants you to believe that you've gone as far as you can go. He wants you to think that you don't have what it takes to keep moving forward. But you must reject that lie. You must stand firm in the truth that you were created for more. You must remind yourself that quitting is not an option, that backing down is not in your nature. You are built to endure. You are built to rise. You are built to overcome. And if you keep going, if you keep pushing, you will see the results of your perseverance. There are dreams inside of you that have not yet been fulfilled. There are doors waiting to open. There are opportunities waiting for you to step into them. But you will never see them if you stop now. You will never experience them if you allow doubt and fear to hold you back. The only way to fail is to quit. The only way to lose is to stop. But as long as you keep moving forward, as long as you refuse to stay down, you will get there. And when you do, you will realize that every hardship, every challenge, every moment of struggle was worth it. You didn't come this far just to come this far. There is still more ahead of you, more victories, more breakthroughs, more growth. You are being prepared for something greater, and if you don't give up, you will see it. No matter how tough it gets, no matter how long the journey feels, remind yourself, if God brought me this far, He will not leave me now. Keep going, keep believing, keep rising. The best is still ahead. There are moments in life when the weight of your journey feels overwhelming, times when the road ahead seems unclear, when the obstacles appear too great, and when doubt whispers that maybe you've reached your limit. But here's the truth. You have come too far to stop now. Everything you have endured, every battle you have fought, and every challenge you have overcome has been leading you to something greater. You were not brought through the fire just to be abandoned in the ashes. You were not carried through the storm just to be left in the wreckage. There is more ahead for you, and the only way you will see it is if you keep moving forward. Every struggle you have faced was not meant to destroy you, but to strengthen you. It may have felt like you were being broken, but in reality, you were being built. It may have felt like you were losing, but in truth, you were learning. Every setback, every delay, every unexpected turn was preparing you. You may not have understood it at the time, but now, when you look back, you can see that even the hardest moments played a role in shaping who you are today. And if those past challenges didn't defeat you, neither will the ones you are facing now. It's easy to let fatigue convince you that you've done enough, that maybe it's time to stop. But there's something deep inside you that knows better, something inside of you that refuses to settle, refuses to give up, refuses to accept anything less than what you were meant for. That voice, that fire, that unshakable belief that there is still more, that is your reminder that your journey is not over. You are still becoming, you are still rising, and the best is still ahead. There is no such thing as a wasted struggle. Every hardship serves a purpose. Every challenge strengthens you. Every delay teaches patience. Every setback builds resilience. You may not always see the reason in the moment, but trust that nothing you have been through has been in vain. If you hold on, if you refuse to give up, you will see how every piece of your journey fits together in a way that makes sense. Fear will try to convince you that it's safer to stay where you are, that stepping forward is too risky, that the unknown is too dangerous, but the real danger is in staying still. The real risk is in settling for a life that is less than what you were meant for. You were not created to play it safe. You were not built to shrink in the face of fear. You were made to move forward, to rise above, to walk boldly into the life that has been set before you. Doubt may creep in, but doubt is not stronger than faith. Fear may whisper, but fear is not greater than purpose. You have already proven that you have what it takes to keep going. You have already come through things that were meant to break you. And if you can make it through those moments, you can make it through this one. This is not where your story ends. This is not where your journey stops. There is more ahead of you, more waiting for you, more that you have yet to see. And if you keep pushing, if you keep believing, if you keep trusting, you will see it. You didn't come this far to stop now. You didn't fight all those battles just to give up here. You didn't endure the struggles of your past just to settle for anything less than what you were destined for. Keep moving, keep trusting, keep rising. The best is still ahead.